Welcome to my journey through the Bible. This will be a little more clarity of the chapter and things that we could apply to our everyday life. We will be in Genesis 9. It starts off with the rainbow and how important it is that the rainbow is a promise that God will never flood the earth. Sometimes rainbows are used as other symbols, but the main reason for that rainbow is for the promise that God will never flood the earth. So when I see that rainbow, I'm thinking, yes, somebody knows the story of Noah. How amazing is that? Then we go on to have the descendants of Noah's three sons. Shem has the Hebrew. A side note is Abraham, David, and Jesus come from the bloodline of Shem. Ham has his descendants are the Canaanites, the Egyptians, the Philistines. And Japhet is the Greek. Now, if I pronounce these names incorrectly, I apologize. I'm just doing the best I can to pronounce some of them. Now, let's talk a little bit about how fast this sin come into play. So Noah's off the ark. He is planting fruit and vegetables. It talks about the vine of the fruit, and he made it into wine. He went a little too far, had too much to drink, and became drunk. Now, let me make this very clear. It's not the wine itself that was bad. It's not that he had a drink that was bad. What was bad, what became a sin, was that he drank too much. Now, before any of you start passing judgment on the drinking and him being naked, let's just face it. We make mistakes. We think, oh, I'll just have one drink, I'm okay. Or I have 2 or 3, and sometimes it turns into 10 to 12, and before you know it, you're falling on your face. I've heard multiple stories from people when they have too much to drink about what happens and how they don't remember it. Being naked seems to be one of the common denominators in that. But the point here that I'm trying to make is the alcohol, the fruit itself, is not bad. It's just the abuse of it. And as God made everything to be good and for us to use it wisely. Many times we don't always do that. We abuse it, which gets us into trouble. So we need to remember that God gave us things so that we can learn to have self-control over them. In this chapter right now, it's talking about the wine. For somebody else, it could be food. For somebody else, it's spending, gambling, whatever it is that we abuse that becomes bad. But another thing I'd like to point out is Ham saw his dad naked. He could have very well just covered up his dad and saved him the disgrace of his other 2 sons knowing what he had done. This was a lack of disrespect on Ham's side. It was a lack of being responsible or doing the responsible thing. When he told his brothers, they were very discreet in what they did. They covered their father up. They walked backwards as to not to see anything. But then we come back to Noah, who is setting an example for his sons. And this just goes to show that even our bad examples, our children are going to see. And they may mimic those and repeat those examples. So it's very important for us to think about our actions and what we do, and that we remember that there are little eyes that are watching us. There's little hands and feet that are going to mimic what we do. And those little lips are going to repeat the same words that we repeat. Whether that's ugly, hateful words, or whether they're kind and encouraging words. Also, Noah was somebody God had chosen, right, to save the earth. Through him and his family, they were going to replenish the earth. So even the people that are trying to do the right thing, they still sin. They fall short of the glory of God. But we have to remember that our examples will trickle down and affect our families.